Hello, 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 what ho! Welcome back to another exciting adventure of The Plain Truth. I'm your host, Travis Finley. We are going to be continuing our investigation into my claim that superior mirages and Fata Morganas are misclassified inferior mirages. All mirages are inferior mirages. There are no superior mirages. There are no Fata Morganas as they have been described to us. They are misclassified. This article here is from Andrew Thomas Young, and it is an article from 2017 that he co-wrote with Eric Frappa. A Fata Morgana mirage. Now I'm going to jump real quick over to a Fata Morgana is a complex form of superior mirage that is seen in a narrow band. Look, they use my term band. All right, so I'm not going to go through all of this. It goes through a little bit of the history. Fata Morgana mirages significantly distort the object or objects. Yep, that's true. That's true. Fata Morganas can be seen in land and sea, polar regions, or in deserts. That's true. That's true. Now, I am happy to say that in March, I think March 22nd or somewhere around there, I captured my first Fata Morgana here in Maryland on the Chesapeake Bay, and it was absolutely just a thrill to have caught that. So I've caught Fata Morgana on the Channel Islands in California and also here in Maryland. These phenomena can happen anywhere. Anywhere. Often it says a Fata Morgana changes rapidly. I have not seen that. I have not seen the Fata Morgana change rapidly. I have seen a lot of turbulence in the air that moves quite quickly through the air, but the image itself does not change rapidly. The mirage comprises several inverted and erect images that are stacked one on another. The Fata Morgana mirages also show alternating compressed and stretched zones. Okay, so all of those things I would agree with. The mirage usually, it doesn't, I don't know why it says several. It should just say three because I've never seen more than three. Usually the mirage is just an inverted image. However, the Fata Morgana reverts the inverted image. Okay, so it flips it upside down and then flips it back right side up. Okay, so that was about as brief. I think I might come back to this in a moment, but let's go on to this. A Fata Morgana mirage of Montreux, Switzerland. The miraged objects are 29 kilometers away. The striated zones contain vertically stretched 3-image mirage. So this is the point that got me all excited, is that it says the striated zone contains a vertically stretched image. Okay, that is the challenge that I am posing to this science. This is not a vertical image. This boat is a vertical image. But as we look over the water to that boat, we're not looking vertically, we're looking along an axis. The x-axis. We have the y-axis, and then we have the x-axis, which is depth, and then the other three-dimensional space out here that we can't see necessarily is the z-axis, which is the zenith, right? So it's like this image of the sail, right? This is a vertical image. This sail is vertical. However, this vertical image is not what is happening here. Just as we are looking over the distance here to this boat, and from this boat to this boat, you are not looking at a 90-degree image. And from this boat over to the shoreline, which is the shoreline is all the way up here in my interpretation of this, according to me, this is my opinion. This is a horizontal observation along the x-axis of depth. So when you are in this boat and you're looking and you come to this spot visually, you don't start looking vertically as you would at this sail. You are looking continually over the distance, but the kaleidoscopic nature of this phenomenon gives it the appearance of a 90-degree image. Okay, and that's what I am here to challenge and debunk. All right. Where am I going to go from here? I don't know. I just started doing this and thought, well, let's see what happens. So let's go to one of my first images of a Fata Morgana. This is, I can never remember what this island is called. I think it's Santa Cruz. I can never remember. But this is the island that is north of Anacapa. Anacapa's over to the left. Turn that down. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to notice now what we don't have in this image is we don't have this wispy ghost of the phenomenon above the apparent horizon. Okay, so in this one here we have this wispy lost smoke monster looking above the apparent horizon. This is the apparent horizon. Okay, so what I'm going to suggest here is that these are the conditions for a Fata Morgana. And as we're looking over the distance here of the water and we get to this point right here, we are not looking up, we are looking over the distance. This is where the water line hits the island physically. This is where the physical water line is. This apparent horizon here, this limit to the visible water is created by the mirage. What kind of a mirage is this? It is an inferior mirage. Okay, and what I'm going to suggest is that the topography that we see up here we will see mirrored down here. Now the one thing that we need to consider is, do we consider this a Fata Morgana? Yes or no? Let's say yes. Okay, so if this is a Fata Morgana and I can establish that the topography of the island up here is mirrored below, this is then an inferior mirage. Therefore, this is not a superior Fata Morgana. So what I'm suggesting then is that if the same phenomenon is happening in my image on the Channel Islands, then this image here is an inferior mirage. This is not the shoreline down here being stretched up here. This landscape here is just like the island. This is the physical landscape, and then right here is where the shoreline is. And right here we have this kaleidoscopic three-dimensional presentation of this, and this is not a vertical image. It is not straight up and down. We would see, if we put someone on a boat right here, they would be distant from the shoreline. Okay, so this is going to be distance, just like this is distant to this boat and this boat is distant to this location. This again is it bears repeating. So I'm at 11 minutes so far. I want to try to keep this short. So this is my thesis. The image of an inferior mirage presents itself along the x-axis. Therefore, there is physical distance from the vanishing line to the limit of the mirage for which account must be taken. Okay? So, in this footage right here, The physical is up here. The mirage, this is like the topography here. The topography here is like the tree. I want you to start to think of a mirage like a shadow. This shadow of the tree is not vertical. It is along the x-axis. And that is exactly what the mirage is doing below the tree. Okay? This part right here is being mirrored right here, reflected down here. Okay? This part right here is right here. This part right here is right here. And you can see that the ghost monster is dissipating a little bit right here. It's thinning out. Okay, but this is an inferior mirage of the physical island here. This dark part right here is right here. This part right here is physical. This part right here is not. This is the inverted image of that part of the island right there. Okay? This part right here, this is a physical island here. This is the reflection of this physical island here. The island stops right here. This is the top of the island right here. Top of the island right here. So this is the inverted image, and then look, it comes down and then comes back out again. So we have the erect image, inverted image, reverted image. This is the condition which creates a three-tiered mirage. However, it is not a superior mirage. If we wanted to see more of this mirage, we would have to elevate our observation. And this part here would then grow in, it would come closer to us. This apparent horizon would move closer to us, and we would see more of this sky like we're seeing it right here. Okay, so the conditions itself create the ability to see a three-tiered image. Normally with an inferior mirage, you only have the physical image and the inverted image here. But because the conditions are right, it's the depth of the mirage is more extreme, and so you're able to get another inversion. Okay? Now, this image here, this ghost monster here is the water. This here is the miraged image of the sky here. Okay? This is not sky. Just like right here is not sky. That's not, this is like looking on a hot road and seeing what appears to be water. It is the sky that's being reflected on the hot road. That's why it looks blue. Okay, so the entire platform is here. Everything is right here. This entire platform is compressed, and you can go back to my other videos where I have the full 50 minutes of this. I also have a breakdown of it in smaller sections, but at the end of this video clip, you will see the sky through the legs of Platform Grace here. Okay, so everything that Platform Grace is right here. Nothing is missing. Okay, so what is this? This is an inferior mirage. The other category that is misclassified is what is called towering. Normally, this would be interpreted as a towering image because it is thought that this image here is apparent and it belongs down here. Why? Well, because we see the horizon right here, and we know that the platform is not that tall. All right, and I do have images where the platform is stretched apparently vertically, but this, again, this is not a vertical image. This is distance, 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 distance. In the other images that I have of these platforms, I don't have the smoke monster. Okay, and if I didn't have the smoke monster in this footage, I would probably still believe in towering. Okay, but it's because of this that I was able to adjust my category that I had adopted because of what the other science says. And again, in my opinion, that science is 100% incorrect. Now, what I'm going to try to do here is show you evidence that the inferior mirage is what is presented here, because here we have Battery Island, here we have the shoreline, and what we're going to see in the footage is that the mirage develops below. Okay, we're going to see the shoreline, we're going to see this shoreline magnified in a kaleidoscopic presentation, and it drops. Okay, so this is an inferior mirage, but these are the conditions that present what's interpreted as a Fata Morgana, which is a subset of the superior mirage. So I didn't know what I was capturing this day. I'm just going to start to move this timestamp up. All right, right here we start to see the development, and it drops below the physical location. It stretches the beach. Okay, you can see the beach here. You can see the beach here growing. The thing that I want to know is, you know, like this guy out here had no clue he was in a phenomenon. You know what I mean? That's what's crazy. To me, he's just fishing, going about his business. But again, the shoreline is dropping below and growing. Okay, so this is an inferior mirage. Okay? Alright, so that is that one. The other thing that I want to show you now is this is the same day, a different observation point. Okay, so now what we just watched was the one beach with Battery Island, right? So this is the same phenomenon. The beach on Battery Island dropped down. This beach is not this large. It is very tight, right up here. Very, very tight. Now, in the next 3 minutes, when I play this, you're going to see the water come in, and this entire beach is going to disappear and go back up. Okay, so this is an inferior mirage of the shoreline up here. Okay? All right, here comes the water from the right side of the video. So this is like the smoke monster in my previous image, my previous footage. Alright, so the smoke monster came in and completely disappeared the mirage. Okay? So what we have right now we can see this thin strip. This is the beach. But we saw earlier that it was stretched down. Now what has come in, the development of the conditions have swept across from south to north, and the water has revealed itself to be where it always was. So just like, okay, according to Andrew Thomas Young, this is a vertically stretched image. No, it is not. It is a horizontally stretched image across distance. Across distance. Okay? So just like we're looking at distance here to here to here to here, when the water comes in, all right, the water has now come in. So this is not vertical. This isn't vertical. This is distance. All the way, distance. Okay? Now the beauty of this entire session that I had, I can't remember if it was an hour or a little bit more than an hour, is that this stuff happened over and over and over again. The mirage would come back, it would disappear, and I just kept moving my camera as it continued to sweep across this portion of the Chesapeake Bay. Okay? So there we go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again for another exciting adventure of The Plain Truth. I'm your host, Travis Finley. Until next time.